Welcome to Orange Bowl. Michigan against Northwestern. For a first-round playoff game. Here's the kick from Meyer.
Kicking team.
Single wing formation. Shotgun. McGurn with the handoff. 2-yard run by McGurn, Gideon on the tackle. Second and 8. Single wing formation. Soper hands to Soper. Soper on the sweep, gain of 15, Cromer on the tackle, first down. Single wing formation. McGurn takes the handoff. McGurn with a gain of 3 on the play, Yanko with the tackle. Single wing formation. Soper hands to Pertel. Pertel on the carry, gain of 1, Smith on the tackle. Third and 6 from the 44. Single wing formation. Ryan fades back to pass. Medium into Evie. Complete. Ryan passes to Evie, touchdown Northwestern. Cantillas will try the point after. Cantillas makes the extra point, Northwestern 7, Michigan 0. Cantillas boots it. The kick from Cantillas is returned 19 yards by Harmon, Mezek on the tackle. First and 10. Single wing formation. Harmon in the shotgun. Phillips with the handoff. Phillips the ball carrier, gain of 8, Voits with the tackle. Second and 2 from the 44. Single wing formation. Bootleg. 3-yard gain by Harmon, Daly on the tackle, first down. Single wing formation. Hook takes the handoff. Hook the ball carrier, loss of 1, Cutley Ike on the tackle. Single wing formation. Bootleg. Harmon on the bootleg, no gain, Young on the tackle. Third and 11 from the 46. Single wing formation. Harmon drops back to pass. Out pass to Ivashevsky. He dropped it. Harmon passes to Ivashevsky, incomplete, Ryan on the coverage. Hook from punt formation. Honenstein waiting inside his own 10. "36-yard punt by Hook, return of 25 by Honenstein. First and 10. Single wing formation. Shotgun formation. Hand off to Soper. Soper with a gain of 1 on the play, Gideon on the tackle. Single wing formation. Give to Ryan. He throws to Lasky. Complete. Ryan to Lasky, gain of 12, Tinker on the tackle, first down. Penalty flag.
Encroachment, defense. Number 67, 5-yard penalty, repeat, first down.
First and 5 at the 39. Single wing formation. Give to Ryan. He throws to Lasky. Incomplete. Ryan throws incomplete to Lasky, tinker with the coverage. Second and 5 from the 39. Single wing formation. Ryan back to pass. Short into Evie. Tipped by Cromer at the 27. Ryan is intercepted by Cromer, return of 0. Single wing formation. Shotgun formation. Hook with the hand off. Lots of daylight. Hook on the carry, gain of 16, Ryan on the tackle, first down. Single wing formation. Hand off to Harmon. He throws to Puriger. Complete. Harmon to Puriger, gain of 25, method on the tackle, first down. Single wing formation. Bootleg. Harmon with a gain of 6 on the play, Ryan on the tackle. Single wing formation. Bootleg. Harmon on the bootleg, no gain, Boyd's on the tackle. Third and 4 at the 26. Single wing formation. Puriger behind center. Puriger calls out the signals. Puriger on the draw. Puriger on the draw, no gain, A on the tackle. Fourth and 4. Single wing formation. Harmon calling signals. Fades back to pass. Harmon throws underneath to Gideon, he makes the catch. Harmon completes the pass to Gideon, gain of 9, Honenstein on the tackle, first down. Single wing formation. The give to Harmon. He throws to Hook. Incomplete. Harmon to Hook, incomplete, flag on the field.
Holding, offense. Number 36, 10-yard penalty.
First and 20 from the 27. Single wing formation. Harmon drops back to pass. Balls. Big hole. 18-yard run by Harmon, Ryan on the tackle. Timeout, Northwestern. Single wing formation. He's running left. Phillips on the carry, no gain, Deal on the tackle. Third and 2. Single wing formation. Northwestern stacked the line. Harmon calls out the signals. Harmon fades back to pass. Harmon is off and running. Harmon with a gain of 2 on the play, Young on the tackle, first down. Single wing formation. Puriger behind center. Short hitch to Phillips. Incomplete. Puriger throws incomplete to Phillips, Jefferson on the coverage. Second and goal. Single wing formation. Hand off to Hook. Hook with a gain of 6 on the play, A on the tackle. Third and goal at the 1. Single wing formation. Pitch right to Gideon. Gideon lost 3 on the play, EB on the tackle. 21-yard kick for Meyer. Smick to hold. Clean snap from Kadros. The snap from Cadros. Meyer connects from 21 yards, Northwestern 7, Michigan 3. Here's the kick from Meyer. The kick from Meyer is returned 28 yards by Ryan Christie on the tackle.
Illegal block. Receiving team, 15-yard penalty.
First and 10 from the 21. Single wing formation. Shotgun formation. Bootleg. 9-yard run by Ryan Brennan with the tackle. Single wing formation. The hand off to McGurn. McGurn the ball carrier, gain of 1, Gideon with the tackle, first down. Single wing formation. Bootleg. Ryan on the bootleg, loss of 5, Smith on the tackle. Single wing formation. Ryan fades back to pass. Medium hitch to deal. Complete. Ryan completes the pass to deal, gain of 30, Brennan on the tackle, first down. Single wing formation. Ryan fades back to pass. He to EB against Cromer. He makes the catch. Ryan passes to EB, gain of 17, Cromer with the tackle, first down. Wildcats by 4. Single wing formation. Hand off to Soper. Soper on the carry, gain of 2, Tinker with the tackle. Single wing formation. Soper gives to Lasky. Lasky on the carry, flag on the field.
Holding, offense. Number 44, 10-yard penalty.
Single wing formation. Ryan fades back to pass. Long slant to EB. Complete. Ryan completes the pass to EB, touchdown Northwestern. Contius will try the point after. Contius converts the extra point, Northwestern 14, Michigan 3. Here's the kick from Contius. The kick from Contius is returned 15 yards by Harmon, Contius on the tackle. Harmon brings them to the line. Single wing formation. Back in the shotgun. Harmon hollers out the signals. Puriker tucks it under. Has room to run. Harmon on the sweep, gain of 18, Method on the tackle, first down. Flag on the field.
False start. Offense. Number 76, 5-yard penalty. Repeat, first down.
Single wing formation. Transfers control to Harmon. Harmon dumps it to Hook. Incomplete. Harmon to Hook. Incomplete. A on the coverage. Single wing formation. Puriker split out wide. Harmon calls the signals. Puriker gives to Mihaffey. Mihaffey with the carry, gain of 1, Daly on the tackle. 3rd and 14. Single wing formation. Harmon barks out the signals. Fades back to pass. Long cross. He dropped it. Harmon passes to Ivashevsky, incomplete, Ryan on the coverage. Hook deep in punt formation. Ryan waiting inside his own 10. "30-yard punt by Hook, out of bounds. First and 10. Single wing formation. Shotgun formation. Lasky with the handoff. Lasky has room to run. 15-yard gain by Lasky, Fuhriger on the tackle, first down. End of the first quarter, Northwestern 14, Michigan 3. Northwestern breaks the huddle. Single wing formation. Bootleg. Ryan lost one on the play, Nicholson on the tackle. Northwestern breaks the huddle. Second and 11. Single wing formation. Ryan is back to pass. Ryan throws a deep post. Intercepted by Cromer. Ryan is intercepted by Cromer, return of 8. Michigan down 11. First and 10 from the 30. Single wing formation. Shotgun formation. Running right. Hook on the carry, no gain, Young on the tackle. Single wing formation. Fuhriger on the run. Harmon on the carry, gain of 2, Daly on the tackle. Michigan down by 11. Third and 8 at the 32. Single wing formation. Harmon fades back to pass. Medium slant to Ivashevsky, complete. Harmon passes to Ivashevsky, gain of 20, Ryan on the stop, first down. Single wing formation. Bootleg. 2-yard run by Harmon, method with the tackle. Second and 8 at the 46. Single wing formation. Fuhriger behind center. Fuhriger on the draw. Fuhriger on the draw, no gain, Young with the tackle. Third and 8. Single wing formation. Harmon sets up in the pocket. Short hitch to Hook. Incomplete. Harmon throws incomplete to Hook, A on the coverage. Hook back in punt formation. Honenstein waiting inside his own 10. "24-yard punt by Hook, out of bounds. First and 10 from the 22. Single wing formation. Ryan from the shotgun. Someone jumped. Possible free play for Ryan. Soper gives to Lasky. Lasky on the carry, gain of 1, flag on the field.
Encroachment, defense. Number 76, 5-yard penalty.
First and 5. Single wing formation. Soper behind center. Soper on the draw. Soper gains 9 on the draw, Cromer on the tackle, first down. Single wing formation. Ryan drops back to pass. Ryan tucks it under. Room for Ryan. Ryan the ball carrier, gain of 16, Cromer with the tackle, first down. Single wing formation. McGurn with the handoff. 5-yard run by McGurn, Harmon with the tackle. Single wing formation. Michigan jumped. Possible free play for Ryan. The give to Soper. Soper checks down to Evie. Puriger intercepted it at the 33. Soper is intercepted by Puriger. Flag on the field.
Encroachment defense. Number 51, 5-yard penalty.
Single wing formation. Ryan going through the signals now. Soper with the handoff to Soper. Soper the ball carrier, no gain, Nicholson on the stop. Single wing formation. Give to Ryan. He throws to Deal. Complete. Ryan completes the pass to Deal, gain of 13, Puriger on the tackle, first down. Single wing formation. Ryan calling signals. Sets to throw. Medium hitch to Deal. Incomplete. Ryan throws incomplete to Deal. Flag on the play.
Holding offense. Number 44, 10-yard penalty.
First and 20 from the 35. Single wing formation. Ryan sets up in the pocket. Ryan throws to Lasky. Incomplete. Ryan throws incomplete to Lasky. Second and 20. Single wing formation. Ryan back to pass. Ryan airs it out. Ryan throws incomplete to McGurn, penalty on the play.
Holding offense. Number 15, 10-yard penalty.
Single wing formation. Ryan fades back to pass. Long sideline pass. Incomplete. Ryan passes to Evie, incomplete, Cromer on the coverage. Third and 30 from the 45. Single wing formation. Ryan fades back to pass. Ryan is off and running. Ryan with the carry, gain of 10, Puriger with the tackle. Purtell deep in punt formation. "28-yard punt by Purtell, no return. Single wing formation. Harmon from the shotgun. Puriger with the handoff. Puriger with the carry, no gain, Deal with the tackle. Single wing formation. Puriger takes the handoff. Puriger on the carry, no gain, A with the tackle. Third and 10 from the 7. Single wing formation. Harmon fades back to pass. Short hitch to Hook. Incomplete. Harmon throws incomplete to Hook, A on the coverage. Hook back in punt formation. Standing in the end zone. "22-yard punt by Hook, out of bounds. Single wing formation. Shotgun formation. Give to Ryan. He throws to McGurn. He's got it. Ryan to McGurn, gain of 15, Brennan with the tackle, first down. Single wing formation. The give to McGurn. McGurn on the carry, 7-yard gain, Smith on the stop. Second and 3. Single wing formation. Goal line defense. Ryan sets to throw. Ryan throws to Eby. Complete. Ryan passes to Eby, touchdown Northwestern. Contias will try the point after. The kick by Contias is no good. Northwestern 20, Michigan 3. The kick from Contias. The kick from Contias is returned 15 yards by Harmon, Contias on the tackle. Single wing formation. Shotgun formation. Puricker with the give to Hook. Hook with the carry, loss of 2, A on the tackle. Second and 12 from the 29. Single wing formation. Bootleg. Harmon on the carry, no gain, Daly on the tackle. Third and 12 from the 29. Single wing formation. Harmon is back to pass. He checks down to Phillips. Incomplete. Harmon throws incomplete to Phillips, Jefferson on the coverage. Hook deep in punt formation. "39-yard punt by Hook, 8-yard return by Honenstein. Wildcats leads by 17. Single wing formation. Shotgun. Give to Ryan. He throws to McGurn. Complete. Ryan completes the pass to McGurn, 27-yard gain, Harmon on the tackle, first down. Single wing formation. Ryan fades back to pass. Long hitch to Eby. Incomplete. Ryan to Eby, incomplete, Cromer on the coverage. Single wing formation. Give to Pertell. Pertell lost 1 on the play, Hook on the tackle. Third and 11 from the 34. Single wing formation. Ryan drops back to pass. Ryan checks down to Eby. Intercepted by Harmon. Ryan is intercepted by Harmon, return of 0. First and 10. Single wing formation. Shotgun. Puricker hands to Hook. Hook lost 1 on the play, Cutley Ike on the tackle. Second and 11. Single wing formation. Puricker hands to Hook. Lots of daylight. Hook with a gain of 21 on the play, Ryan on the tackle, first down. Timeout, Northwestern. Single wing formation. Bootleg. Harmon on the bootleg, loss of 4, Young on the tackle. Single wing formation. Harmon sets up in the pocket. Harmon will run. Harmon on the carry, gain of 5, Daly on the tackle. 3rd and 9 from the 50. 3:03 left in the second. Single wing formation. Draw to hook. Hook on the draw, no gain, EB on the tackle. Hook back to punt. Ryan waiting inside his own 10. "24-yard punt by hook, out of bounds. First and 10 at the 26. Single wing formation. Shotgun. The handoff to Lasky. Lasky the ball carrier, gain of 2, hook with the tackle. Northwestern by 17. Second and 8 at the 28. 2:04 left in the second. Single wing formation. Ryan calling signals. Bootleg. Fumble. Ryan on the carry, gain of 6, fumble recovered by Deal, Northwestern maintains possession. 3rd and 2 from the 34. Single wing formation. Ryan sets up in the pocket. Short out to Deal. He's got it. Ryan completes the pass to Deal, gain of 11, Tinker on the tackle, first down. Penalty on the play.
False start. Offense. Number 64, 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Northwestern breaks the huddle. First and 15. Single wing formation. Ryan back to pass. Medium out to Deal. Leaping catch. Ryan passes to Deal, gain of 17, Uriker with the tackle, first down. First and 10 from the 43. Single wing formation. Ryan fades back to pass. Ryan tucks it under. 7-yard gain by Ryan, Tinker on the tackle. Northwestern by 17. Single wing formation. Give to Soper. He throws to Evie. Incomplete. Soper with the pass to Evie. Incomplete. Northwestern by 17. 3rd and 3 from the 36. 1:07 left in the second. Single wing formation. Ryan drops back to pass. Short out pass. He makes the catch. Ryan completes the pass to McGurn, gain of 3, Tinker on the tackle, first down. Single wing formation. Ryan fades back to pass. Short sideline pass to Evie, complete. Ryan to Evie, touchdown Northwestern. Cantillas will try the point after. The kick by Cantillas is good, Northwestern 27, Michigan 3. Here's the kick from Cantillas. The kick from Cantillas is returned 15 yards by Cromer, Cantillas on the tackle. Michigan trailing by 24. Single wing formation. Shotgun formation. Harmon drops back to pass. Harmon is off and running. Lots of daylight. Harmon with a gain of 15 on the play, Hay with the tackle, first down. Michigan breaks the huddle. Single wing formation. Bootleg. Harmon has room to run. Harmon on the bootleg, 19-yard gain, Ryan with the tackle, first down. Michigan breaks the huddle. Michigan down by 24. Single wing formation. Harmon drops back to pass. He dumps it to Hook. Incomplete. Harmon throws incomplete to Hook. Michigan trailing by 24. Single wing formation. Harmon calls out the signals. He fades back to pass. Short out to Phillips. He dropped it. Harmon to Phillips, incomplete. Third and 10 from the 38. Single wing formation. Harmon drops back to pass. Deal brings him down. Harmon is sacked by Deal, loss of 9. Michigan can't get a play off. The kick from Contias. The kick from Contias is returned 18 yards by Harmon, Mezek on the tackle. Penalty on the play.
False start. Offense. Number 65, 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Flag on the field.
False start. Offense. Number 76, 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Single wing formation. Harmon from the shotgun. Drops back to pass. Long in. Incomplete. Harmon throws incomplete to Ivashevsky, Ryan on the coverage. Single wing formation. Puriker lines up outside. Harmon back to pass. It's a deep pass. Incomplete. Harmon throws incomplete to Furtide, penalty on the play.
Roughing the passer, defense. Number 53, 15-yard penalty. Automatic, first down.
Single wing formation. Puriker hands to Hook. Hook on the carry, 3-yard gain, Deal on the tackle. Second and 7. Single wing formation. Pitch left to Mihaffey. Mihaffey the ball carrier, loss of 4, Deal on the tackle. Penalty flag.
False start. Offense. Number 43, 5-yard penalty. Repeat, third down.
Third and 16 from the 31. Single wing formation. Harmon fades back to pass. Harmon is off and running. Harmon running room. Harmon the ball carrier, gain of 18, Ryan on the tackle, first down. Single wing formation. The give to Harmon. He throws to Phillips. Incomplete. Harmon to Phillips, incomplete, Jefferson on the coverage. Single wing formation. Harmon drops back to pass. False. Harmon with a gain of 5 on the play, Daly on the tackle. Third and 5 from the 46. Single wing formation. Harmon sets up in the pocket. Medium outside pass to Ivashevsky, incomplete. Harmon passes to Ivashevsky, incomplete. Ryan on the coverage.
Pass interference, defense. Number 41, 15-yard penalty. Automatic, first down.
Penalty on the play.
False start, offense. Number 43, 5-yard penalty. Repeat, first down.
Single wing formation. Harmon fades back to pass. Medium fly to Ivashevsky, complete. Harmon completes the pass to Ivashevsky, 23-yard gain. Ryan on the stop, first down. First and 10 from the 13. Single wing formation. Harmon at the line. Hook with the handoff. Hook on the carry, no gain. Deal with the tackle. Second and 10 from the 13. Single wing formation. 9-play 65-yard drive. They've used 3:22 on the clock. The give to Hook. Blocking in front. Hook with the carry, gain of 12. Ryan with the tackle, first down. Single wing formation. Goal line defense. Harmon at the line. Current drive, 10 plays, 77 yards. 3:50 off the clock. Puriker on the run. Harmon the ball carrier, touchdown Michigan. Meyer will try the point after. The kick by Meyer is no good. Northwestern 27, Michigan 9. Meyer to kick off. The kick from Meyer is returned 22 yards by Jefferson, Kitty on the tackle. Single wing formation. Ryan in the shotgun. Lasky with the handoff. Lasky on the carry, loss of 2, Meyer on the tackle. Second and 12. Single wing formation. Ryan barks out the signals. Soper shovels it to McGurn. Has an opening. 20-yard gain by McGurn. Cromer on the tackle, first down. Single wing formation. The give to Ryan. He dumps it to Evie. Incomplete. Ryan throws incomplete to Evie, Cromer on the coverage. Second and 10 from the 33. Single wing formation. Soper gives to McGurn. McGurn on the carry, gain of 2, Gedeon on the tackle. Northwestern leads by 18. Third and 8. Single wing formation. Ryan at the line. Ryan drops back to pass. Ryan is off and running. Ryan on the carry, gain of 9, Hook on the tackle, first down. Single wing formation. Ryan at the line. Lasky with the handoff. Lasky with the carry, loss of 2, Hook on the tackle. Wildcats ahead by 18. Second and 12 from the 24. Single wing formation. Soper pitches right to Lasky. 1-yard gain by Lasky, Nicholson on the stop. Third and 11 at the 23. Single wing formation. Ryan fades back to pass. Medium slant to Deal. Complete. Ryan completes the pass to Deal, touchdown Northwestern. Contias will try the point after. Contius converts the extra point, Northwestern 34, Michigan 9. Here's the kick from Contius. The kick from Contius is returned 14 yards by Puriger, Contius on the tackle. Single wing formation. Harmon in the shotgun. Puriger gives to Phillips. Phillips with a gain of 1 on the play, EB on the tackle. Single wing formation. Puriger gives to Puriger. Puriger the ball carrier, gain of 2, Daly on the tackle. Third and 7 from the 32. Single wing formation. Hand off to Harmon. He throws to Phillips. Incomplete. Harmon throws incomplete to Phillips, Jefferson on the coverage. Put back in punt formation. A 29-yard punt by Hook, return of 2 by Ryan.
Holding, receiving team, 15-yard penalty.
Northwestern leads by 25. First and 10 at the 25. 6:30 left in the third. Single wing formation. Shotgun. Bootleg. Ryan on the bootleg, gain of 1, Nicholson with the tackle. Single wing formation. Ryan sets to throw. Short curl to Deal. Incomplete. Ryan throws incomplete to Deal, Puriger on the coverage. Third and 9 from the 26. Single wing formation. Ryan at the line. Drops back to pass. Ryan throws a deep fly. Incomplete. Ryan to Evie, incomplete. Cromer with the coverage. Purtell will punt it away. A 38-yard punt by Purtell, return of 15 by Cromer. Single wing formation. Shotgun formation. Puriger hands to Phillips. Phillips on the carry, gain of 1, Cutley Ike on the stop. Single wing formation. Puriger gives to Mihaffey. Mihaffey on the carry, gain of 1, Hay on the tackle. Third and 8 from the 47. Single wing formation. Harmon drops back to pass. Harmon is off and running. Has room to run. Harmon the ball carrier, flag on the field.
Holding, offense. Number 58, 10-yard penalty.
Third and 18 at the 43. Single wing formation. Harmon fades back to pass. False. Harmon running room. Harmon the ball carrier, gain of 18, Method on the tackle, first down. Penalty on the play.
False start, offense. Number 36, 5-yard penalty, repeat, first down.
Single wing formation. Harmon drops back to pass. Medium hitch to Frutig. Incomplete. Harmon passes to Frutig, incomplete, Ryan on the coverage. Michigan down by 25. Single wing formation. Harmon fades back to pass. Long hitch. Incomplete. Harmon throws incomplete to Ivashevsky, Ryan on the coverage. Third and 15 from the 44. Single wing formation. Harmon drops back to pass. Harmon passes to Phillips, complete. Harmon with the pass to Phillips, 9-yard gain, Jefferson on the tackle. Hook from punt formation. "35-yard punt by Hook, touchback." Single wing formation. Shotgun. The hand off to Lasky. With room. Lasky the ball carrier, gain of 63, Bulicker on the tackle, first down. First and 10 from the 17. Single wing formation. Slow down offense. Lasky takes the handoff. Lasky on the carry, no gain, Smith on the tackle. Single wing formation. Ryan taking his time. Give to McGurn. McGurn with the carry, no gain, Gideon on the tackle. Third and 10. Single wing formation. Slow down offense. Ryan at the line. Hand off to Soper. Soper throws to Pertel, incomplete. Soper passes to Pertel, incomplete, Harmon on the coverage. 34-yard attempt for Contias. Mesick to hold. Heyman with the snap. Contias missed the 34-yard field goal. First and 10 from the 20. Single wing formation. Shotgun formation. Quick pitch to Hook. Hook running room. Hook the ball carrier, 13-yard gain, Ryan on the tackle, first down. End of the third quarter, Northwestern 34, Michigan 9. Single wing formation. Harmon sets up in the pocket. Medium crossing pass. Caught by Ivashevsky at the 47. Harmon completes the pass to Ivashevsky, gain of 20, Ryan on the stop, first down. Single wing formation. Puriger gives to Mihappy. Mihappy on the carry, gain of 1, Deal on the tackle. Single wing formation. Harmon fades back to pass. Harmon is off and running. Has room to run. Harmon the ball carrier, gain of 16, Ryan on the stop, first down. First and 10 from the 30. Single wing formation. Hand off to Harmon. He throws to Puriger. He makes the catch. Harmon to Puriger, gain of 11, Method on the stop, first down. Michigan trailing by 25. Single wing formation. Puriger hands to Phillips. Phillips on the carry, no gain, Hay on the tackle. Michigan trailing by 25. Single wing formation. Puriger hands to Puriger. Puriger on the carry, no gain, Cutley Ike on the tackle. Third and 10. Single wing formation. Harmon drops back to pass. Medium cross to Ivashevsky. Incomplete. Harmon throws incomplete to Ivashevsky, Ryan on the coverage. Fourth and 10. Single wing formation. Harmon calls out the signals. Current drive, 8 plays, 61 yards. 2:59 off the clock. The give to Harmon. He throws to Puriger. Incomplete. Harmon passes to Puriger, incomplete, method on the coverage. Single wing formation. Ryan from the shotgun. Ryan calls out the signals. The give to Ryan. He throws to Deal. Complete. Ryan completes the pass to Deal, gain of 12, Puriger on the stop, first down. Single wing formation. Ryan working very slowly. Bootleg. 2-yard run by Ryan, Nicholson on the tackle. Single wing formation. Slow down offense. Bootleg. Ryan with a 2-yard run, Cromer on the tackle. Third and 6. Single wing formation. Northwestern working slowly. Ryan barks out the signals. Fades back to pass. Medium fly to Deal. He dropped it. Ryan passes to Deal, incomplete, penalty flag. Pertel deep in punt formation. A 23-yard punt by Pertel, out of bounds. Michigan down 25. First and 10 from the 42. Single wing formation. Shotgun. Pitch right to Phillips. Phillips gets to the second level. Phillips gains 18 on the pitch, Hay on the tackle, first down. First and 10 at the 40. Single wing formation. Puriger behind center. Puriger on the draw. 3-yard run by Puriger, Deal on the tackle. Single wing formation. Harmon takes a deep drop. Harmon throws downfield to Phillips, incomplete. Harmon passes to Phillips, incomplete. Third and 7. Single wing formation. Harmon sets up in the pocket. Pass in the flat to Puriger, incomplete. Harmon passes to Puriger, incomplete. Fourth and 7 from the 37. Single wing formation. Harmon at the line. Give to Harmon. He throws to Phillips. Incomplete. Harmon to Phillips, incomplete. Single wing formation. Shotgun formation. Ryan at the line. Soper tucks it under. Ryan with daylight. Ryan with the carry. Gain of 15, Brennan on the tackle, first down. First and 10 from the 48. Single wing formation. Soper behind center. Slow down. Soper is off and running. 1-yard run by Soper, Nicholson on the tackle. Second and 9 at the 47. Single wing formation. Slow down offense. Soper gives to Pertel. Pertel on the carry, gain of 1, Smith on the tackle. Third and 8. Single wing formation. Slow down offense. Ryan barks out the signals. Lasky on the draw. Lasky with the carry, 1 yard gain, Nicholson on the tackle. Pertel back in punt formation. Puriker waiting inside his own 10. "34-yard punt by Pertel, no return. Michigan trailing by 25. First and 10. Single wing formation. Harmon from the shotgun. Phillips takes the handoff. With a lane. Phillips with a gain of 33 on the play, Jefferson on the tackle, first down. Michigan breaks the huddle. Single wing formation. Puriker behind center. Balls. Puriker running room. Puriker with the carry, gain of 17, Ryan with the tackle, first down. Single wing formation. Slips it to Puriker. He throws to Hook, incomplete. Puriker throws incomplete to Hook, penalty on the play.
Holding, offense. Number 65, 10-yard penalty.
Single wing formation. Harmon fades back to pass. Medium into Ivashevsky. Incomplete. Harmon throws incomplete to Ivashevsky, Ryan on the coverage. Second and 20. Single wing formation. Harmon drops back to pass. Medium hitch to Ivashevsky. Incomplete. Harmon throws incomplete to Ivashevsky, Ryan on the coverage. Third and 20 at the 49. Single wing formation. Puriker split out wide. Harmon sets up in the pocket. Medium cross. Incomplete. Harmon throws incomplete to Frotine. Fourth and 20. Single wing formation. The snap is fumbled. Fumble. Harmon on the carry, loss of 4, fumble recovered by Harmon, Michigan maintains possession. Northwestern by 25. Single wing formation. Shotgun. Soper hands to Soper. 1 yard gain by Soper, Hook with the tackle. Single wing formation. They're in a slow down. Soper running. Ryan with a gain of 2 on the play, Smith on the tackle. Northwestern by 25. Third and 7 from the 44. Single wing formation. They're taking their time. Give to Ryan. He throws to Deal, complete. Ryan completes the pass to Deal, gain of 4, Puriker on the tackle. Pertel back in punt formation. Cromer waiting inside his own 10. A 27-yard punt by Pertel, out of bounds. Single wing formation. Shotgun formation. Harmon calls the signals. Fades back to pass. Medium out pass to Gideon. Incomplete. Harmon throws incomplete to Gideon, Jefferson on the coverage. Second and 10 from the 13. Single wing formation. Harmon back to pass. Harmon is off and running. Has room to run. Harmon on the carry, gain of 18, A on the tackle, first down. Michigan down by 25. Single wing formation. Harmon fades back to pass. Harmon is running with it. Harmon on the carry, gain of 3, Cutley Ike on the tackle. Michigan down by 25. Single wing formation. The give to Harmon. He throws to Phillips. Complete. Harmon completes the pass to Phillips, gain of 26, Ryan with the tackle, first down. Single wing formation. Harmon fades back to pass. Medium sideline pass. Incomplete. Harmon throws incomplete to Phillips, Jefferson on the coverage. Single wing formation. Harmon back to pass. Medium outside pass to Frutig. He dropped it. Harmon to Frutig, incomplete, Ryan with the coverage. Michigan down by 25. Third and 10 from the 40. 1:46 in the fourth. Single wing formation. Harmon sets up in the pocket. He passes to Hook. Incomplete. Harmon throws incomplete to Hook. Flag on the play.
Holding, defense. Number 20, 5-yard penalty. Automatic, first down.
Single wing formation. Harmon calling signals. Harmon drops back to pass. Harmon is off and running. Harmon with the carry, gain of 2, flag on the field. Second and 8. Single wing formation. Harmon fades back to pass. Long sideline pass. Incomplete. Harmon to Ivashevsky, incomplete, Ryan on the coverage. Third and 8. Single wing formation. Harmon barks out the signals. Fades back to pass. Screen. Incomplete. Harmon to Hook, incomplete, A with the coverage. Michigan trailing by 25. Fourth and 8. 1:13 left in the game. Single wing formation. 10-play 54-yard drive. They've used 2 o'clock on the clock. Harmon fades back to pass. Long out pass to Ivashevsky. Incomplete. Harmon with the pass to Ivashevsky, incomplete, Ryan on the coverage. Soper will go to a knee. Soper takes a knee. Soper will go to a knee. Northwestern 34, Michigan 9. Welcome to Orange Bowl. Oregon against Santa Clara. For a first-round playoff game. Johnson boots it. The kick from Johnson is returned 28 yards by Graybeal. Gunter on the tackle. Single wing formation. Hankinson behind center. Shotgun formation. Movement up front. Possible free play for Gebhardt. Hankinson tucks it under. Hankinson lost 4. Penalty on the play.
Encroachment, defense. Number 39, 5-yard penalty.
First and 5 at the 40. Single wing formation. Gebhardt calls out the signals. The give to Gebhardt. He throws to Emmons. Gebhardt is intercepted by McCarthy. Return of 0. First and 10 from the 28. Single wing formation. Shotgun formation. Hand off to Pellegrini. Pellegrini on the carry, gain of 1, Yerby on the tackle. Second and 9 from the 29. Single wing formation. Clark fades back to pass. Short hitch to Gunter. Incomplete. Clark to Gunter, incomplete. Cadenasso on the coverage. Third and 9. Single wing formation. Transfers control to Barlow. He throws to McCarthy, complete. Barlow completes the pass to McCarthy, gain of 10, Cadenasso on the tackle, first down. First and 10. Single wing formation. The give to Clark. He throws to Anahua. He dropped it. Clark throws incomplete to Anahua, Nicholson on the coverage. Single wing formation. Hand off to Barlow. He throws downfield to complete. Clark completes the pass to Anahua, touchdown Santa Clara. Gilbert will try the point after. Gilbert converts the extra point, Santa Clara 7, Oregon 0. Here's the kick from Johnson.
Kicking team.
Single wing formation. Shotgun formation. Stenstrom takes the handoff. Stenstrom on the carry, loss of 1, Anahu on the tackle. Single wing formation. Hankinson gives to Stenstrom. Stenstrom with the carry, loss of 1, Coughlin on the tackle. Third and 12 from the 33. Single wing formation. Gebhardt fades back to pass. Short button hook. Incomplete. Gebhardt to Donovan, incomplete, Roche on the coverage. Gammon deep in punt formation. "39-yard punt by Gammon, 9-yard return by Clark. Single wing formation. Clark in the shotgun. Clark calls out the signals. Give to Pellegrini. Pellegrini with the carry, 3-yard gain, Regnato on the tackle. 2nd and 7 from the 40. Single wing formation. Transfers control to Clark. He throws to Anahua. Incomplete. Clark throws incomplete to Anahua. Nicholson with the coverage.
Pass interference, defense. Number 27, 15-yard penalty. Automatic, first down.
1st and 10 from the 45. Single wing formation. The handoff to Pellegrini. Pellegrini lost one on the play, Bosket on the tackle. Second and 11 from the 46. Single wing formation. Clark at the line. Hand off to Barlow. He throws downfield to Coughlin. He dropped it. Clark throws incomplete to Coughlin. Third and 11. Single wing formation. Clark fades back to pass. Clark passes to McCarthy. Incomplete. Clark throws incomplete to McCarthy, Cadenasso on the coverage. Johnson back in punt formation. Gebhardt waiting inside his own 10. "29-yard punt by Johnson, out of bounds. First and 10 at the 17. Single wing formation. Shotgun. Gebhardt calling signals. Hankinson tucks it under. Gebhardt gains 2 on the sweep, Anahu on the tackle. Single wing formation. Running right. Smith with a gain of 8 on the play, Skiakel with the tackle. Third and inches at the 27. Single wing formation. Hankinson gives to Emmons. Emmons on the sweep, loss of 3, block on the tackle. Gammon back in punt formation. "39-yard punt by Gammon, 8-yard return by Barlow. Penalty on the play.
False start. Offense. Number 31, 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Single wing formation. Shotgun. Hand off to Barlow. Barlow with a gain of 3 on the play, Regnato on the tackle. Single wing formation. Clark at the line. The give to Pellegrini. He throws to Gilbert. Complete. Pellegrini to Gilbert, gain of 19, Nicholson on the tackle, first down. Single wing formation. Clark at the line. The give to Clark. He throws to Barlow. Incomplete. Clark passes to Barlow, incomplete, Walden on the coverage. Clark brings them to the line. Single wing formation. Clark calls out the signals. Hand off to Barlow. He throws downfield, complete. Clark completes the pass to Gunter, 36-yard gain, Cadenasso on the tackle, first down. Single wing formation. Give to Clark. He throws to Pellegrini. Clark throws incomplete to Pellegrini, Gebhardt with the coverage. Second and goal from the 2. Single wing formation. Oregon stacked the line. Barlow gives to Pellegrini. Pellegrini on the carry, no gain, Yerby on the tackle. 3rd and goal from the 2. Single wing formation. Hand off to Barlow. Blindsided by Foskett. Barlow is sacked by Foskett, loss of 5. 24-yard try for Johnson. Johnson to hold. The snap from Billick. Johnson missed the 24-yard field goal. Single wing formation. Gebhardt from the shotgun. Gebhardt calls out the signals. Hand off to Gebhardt. Gebhardt throws underneath, complete. Gebhardt to Emmons, gain of 9, Clark with the tackle. Single wing formation. Gebhardt calls out the signals. Hankinson tucks it under. Seven-yard run by Gebhardt, Tom on the tackle, first down. First and 10 from the 36. Single wing formation. Give to Hankinson. He throws to Emmons. He dropped it. Hankinson with the pass to Emmons, incomplete. Second and 10 from the 36. Single wing formation. Gebhardt sets up in the pocket. Gebhardt tucks it under. Gebhardt has room to run. Gebhardt the ball carrier, gain of 30, Roche on the tackle, first down. Single wing formation. Gebhardt calls the signals. Hand off to Emmons. Emmons on the carry, gain of 2, Clark on the tackle. Second and 8. Single wing formation. Emmons with the ball now. Emmons on the sweep, loss of 5, Tom with the tackle. Third and 13 at the 37. Single wing formation. Gebhardt calling signals. Someone jumped. Possible free play for Gebhardt. Gebhardt fades back to pass. Falls. Has room to run. Gebhardt on the carry, touchdown Oregon. Nicholson will try the point after. The kick by Nicholson is no good, Santa Clara 7, Oregon 6. The kick from Lance. The kick from Lance is returned 26 yards by Clark, Stenstrom on the tackle. First and 10 from the 43. Single wing formation. Clark from the shotgun. Barlow running. Clark on the sweep, gain of 5, Yerby on the tackle. Second and 5. Single wing formation. Clark fades back to pass. Long hitch to Coughlin. He dropped it. Clark throws incomplete to Coughlin, Emmons on the coverage. Third and 5 from the 48. Single wing formation. Give to McCarthy. He throws to Pellegrini. Incomplete. McCarthy throws incomplete to Pellegrini, Gebhardt on the coverage. Johnson from punt formation. Gebhardt waiting inside his own 10. A 14-yard punt by Johnson, out of bounds. Single wing formation. Shotgun. Hankinson gives to Stenstrom. Stenstrom with a 1-yard run, lock on the stop. Single wing formation. Gebhardt drops back to pass. Medium cross. Complete. Gebhardt completes the pass to Yerby, gain of 31, McCarthy on the stop, first down. Single wing formation. Hand off to Stenstrom. 9-yard gain by Stenstrom, Wolf with the tackle. Single wing formation. Hankinson running. Gebhardt with a gain of 9 on the play, Coughlin on the tackle, first down. Single wing formation. Bootleg. Gebhardt the ball carrier, no gain, Smith on the tackle. Second and 10 from the 12. Single wing formation. Gebhardt fades back to pass. Gebhardt throws to Donovan, complete. Gebhardt completes the pass to Donovan, touchdown Oregon. Nicholson will try the point after. Nicholson converts the extra point, Oregon 13, Santa Clara 7. The kick from Lance. The kick from Lance is returned 10 yards by Pellegrini, Stenstrom on the tackle. Broncos down by 6. Single wing formation. Shotgun. Pellegrini with the handoff. Pellegrini with the carry, no gain, Yerby on the tackle. Second and 10. Single wing formation. Hand off to Pellegrini. He throws to Coughlin. Incomplete. Pellegrini throws incomplete to Coughlin. Third and 10. Single wing formation. Clark calls out the signals. Hand off to Clark. He throws to Pellegrini. Incomplete. Clark to Pellegrini, incomplete, Gebhardt on the coverage. Johnson back to punt. "38-yard punt by Johnson, return of 3 by Gebhardt. Single wing formation. Gebhardt in the shotgun. He fades back to pass. Gebhardt throws to Stenstrom, incomplete. Gebhardt to Stenstrom, incomplete, Barlow on the coverage. Second and 10. Single wing formation. Hankinson running. Gebhardt on the carry, no gain, Anahu with the tackle. Third and 10. Single wing formation. Gebhardt fades back to pass. Medium into Yerby. He dropped it. Gebhardt to Yerby, incomplete. Gammon back in punt formation. "30-yard punt by Gammon, return of 9 by Clark.
Illegal block, receiving team, 15-yard penalty.
Broncos trailing by 6. Single wing formation. Back in the shotgun. Clark at the line. Barlow with the handoff. Barlow on the carry, gain of 2, Yerby on the tackle. Second and 8 at the 24. Single wing formation. Clark sets up in the pocket. Clark will have to run. 2-yard run by Clark, Jensen on the tackle. Third and 6. Single wing formation. Hand off to Clark. He throws to Pellegrini. He dropped it. Clark passes to Pellegrini, incomplete, Gebhardt on the coverage.
Pass interference, defense. Number 28, automatic, first down.
Single wing formation. Barlow tucks it under. Clark the ball carrier, no gain, Gebhardt on the tackle. Single wing formation. Clark fades back to pass. Clark checks down to Coughlin, incomplete. Clark to Coughlin, incomplete. Third and 10. Single wing formation. Clark fades back to pass. Medium cross. Incomplete. Clark throws incomplete to Coughlin, Emmons on the coverage. Johnson will punt it away. A 46-yard punt by Johnson, 10-yard return by Nicholson. Single wing formation. Gebhardt in the shotgun. Hankinson gives to Stenstrom. 3-yard run by Stenstrom, Coughlin on the tackle. Oregon breaks the huddle. Single wing formation. Hankinson behind center. Hankinson at the line. Medium outside pass. Hankinson is intercepted by Barlow, return of 4. Single wing formation. Shotgun formation. Clark calls the signals. Gunter takes the handoff. 4-yard run by Gunter, Robertson on the tackle. Second and 6 from the 36. Single wing formation. Hand off to Clark. He throws to Pellegrini. He dropped it. Clark throws incomplete to Pellegrini, Gebhardt on the coverage. Third and 6. Single wing formation. Pitch left to Coughlin. Coughlin with a gain of 2 on the play, Regnato with the tackle. Johnson deep in punt formation. A 34-yard punt by Johnson, touchback. First and 10. Single wing formation. Shotgun. Gebhardt at the line. Pitch left to Stenstrom. Stenstrom with the carry, gain of 2, Tom on the tackle. Single wing formation. Bootleg. Gebhardt with the carry, no gain, Roche with the tackle. Third and 8 at the 22. Single wing formation. Gebhardt drops back to pass. Gebhardt checks down to Stenstrom, incomplete. Gebhardt throws incomplete to Stenstrom, Barlow on the coverage. Gammon back in punt formation. A 33-yard punt by Gammon, out of bounds. Penalty on the play.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense, number 81, 5-yard penalty. Repeat, first down.
Single wing formation. Shotgun. The field is getting slick. Bootleg. Clark with a 3-yard run. Walden on the stop. Second and 2 from the 47. Single wing formation. Bootleg. Clark on the bootleg. Loss of 6. Cadenasso on the tackle. Third and 8. Single wing formation. Clark drops back to pass. He throws deep. Incomplete. Clark passes to Anahuo, incomplete. Johnson to punt. Nicholson standing inside his own 10. "43-yard punt by Johnson, 7-yard return by Nicholson. Single wing formation. From the shotgun. Stenstrom with the handoff. Stenstrom with a gain of 3 on the play, Anahu with the tackle. Single wing formation. Hankinson behind center. He checks down to Donovan, complete. Hankinson completes the pass to Donovan, gain of 6, Roche on the tackle. Third and 1. Single wing formation. Bootleg. 7-yard gain by Gebhardt, Clark with the tackle, first down. Hankinson gives to Stenstrom. Wide open field. Stenstrom with the carry, gain of 34, Roche on the stop, first down. First and 10 from the 33. Single wing formation. Give to Gebhardt. He throws to Yerby. Diving catch. Gebhardt to Yerby, gain of 12, McCarthy on the tackle, first down. First and 10 from the 21. Single wing formation. Gebhardt at the line. Transfers control to Stenstrom. With daylight. Stenstrom with a 14-yard run, Clark on the tackle, first down. Oregon leads by 6. First and goal at the 7. Single wing formation. Gebhardt takes a deep drop. He throws downfield. Gebhardt passes to Yerby, incomplete, McCarthy on the coverage.
Intentional grounding. Offense, number 28, 10-yard penalty. Loss of down.
Single wing formation. Give to Gebhardt. He throws to Smith. Complete. Gebhardt completes the pass to Smith, gain of 12, Barlow on the tackle. Third and goal from the 5. Single wing formation. Draw to Emmons. Emmons on the carry, no gain, Anahu on the tackle. 22-yard attempt for Lance. Gammon to hold. Good snap from center. The snap from Cadenasso. Lance missed the 22-yard kick. First and 10 at the 20. Single wing formation. Shotgun. Pellegrini with the handoff. Pellegrini with a gain of 1 on the play, Donovan with the tackle. Second and 9 at the 21. Single wing formation. Clark calls the signals. Hand off to Barlow. He throws downfield to Coughlin, incomplete. Clark with the pass to Coughlin, incomplete. Third and 9 at the 21. Single wing formation. Clark drops back to pass. Medium button hook to Anahua, incomplete. Clark throws incomplete to Anahua. Johnson deep in punt formation. "41-yard punt by Johnson, 8-yard return by Gebhardt. First and 10 at the 46. Single wing formation. Shotgun. Hankinson tucks it under. 12-yard run by Gebhardt, Roche on the tackle, first down. Single wing formation. The give to Smith. Smith on the carry, no gain, Skieckel with the tackle. Second and 10 from the 42. Single wing formation. Gebhardt sets up in the pocket. Gebhardt is off and running. Wide open field. Gebhardt on the carry, gain of 22, Roche on the tackle, first down. Single wing formation. Hankinson running. 5-yard run by Gebhardt, Anahua with the tackle. Flag on the play.
Encroachment defense. Number 39, 5-yard penalty.
Single wing formation. Stenstrom with the handoff. Stenstrom with the carry, touchdown Oregon. Nicholson will try the point after. The conversion failed, Oregon 19, Santa Clara 7. Here's the kick from Lance. The kick from Lance is returned 17 yards by Clark, Ratch with the tackle. Single wing formation. Barlow behind center. Barlow in the shotgun. Barlow calls out the signals. Barlow tucks it under. Barlow gets to the second level. Barlow gains 14 on the sweep, Gebhardt on the tackle, first down. Single wing formation. Clark calling signals. The give to Clark. He throws to Gunder. He dropped it. Clark throws incomplete to Gunder. Broncos trailing by 12. Second and 10 at the 45. 1:29 in the second. Single wing formation. Clark sets up in the pocket. Short sideline pass. Gunder with the catch at the 50. Clark to Gunder, 16-yard gain, Catanasso with the tackle, first down. Single wing formation. Barlow pitches right to Coughlin. Coughlin on the pitch, gain of 2, Donovan on the tackle. Santa Clara trailing by 12. Second and 8 from the 37. 1:14 to go in the second. Single wing formation. Hand off to Pellegrini. He throws to Barlow. Complete. Pellegrini completes the pass to Barlow, gain of 17, Nicholson on the tackle, first down. Single wing formation. Hurry up. Clark sets up in the pocket. Medium out pass to Anahua, complete. Clark completes the pass to Anahua, touchdown Santa Clara. Gilbert will try the point after. The conversion failed, Oregon 19, Santa Clara 13. Johnson with the kick. The kick from Johnson is returned 34 yards by Graybeal, Hanna on the tackle.
Illegal block. Receiving team, 15-yard penalty.
Single wing formation. Shotgun formation. Holy cow, look at it rain now. Slick track out there. Hankinson gives to Stenstrom. Stenstrom the ball carrier, loss of 1, Anahu on the tackle. 2nd and 11 from the 20. Single wing formation. Gebhardt drops back to pass. Gebhardt throws underneath to Stenstrom, incomplete. Gebhardt throws incomplete to Stenstrom, Barlow on the coverage. Third and 11 from the 20. Single wing formation. Gebhardt fades back to pass. Gebhardt will have to run. Gebhardt on the carry, gain of 4, Coughlin on the tackle.
False start. Offense, 5-yard penalty. Repeat, 4th down.
Gammon deep in punt formation. "28-yard punt by Gammon, return of 5 by Barlow. First and 10 from the 42. Single wing formation. Shotgun. Clark barks out the signals. Running right. Coughlin the ball carrier, no gain, Cadenasso with the tackle. Single wing formation. Hurry up offense. Clark fades back to pass. Medium hitch to Pellegrini. Incomplete. Clark throws incomplete to Pellegrini, Gebhardt on the coverage, end of the first half, Oregon 19, Lance to kick off. The kick from Lance is returned 17 yards by Barlow, Anderson on the tackle. Single wing formation. Clark from the shotgun. The field is getting slick. Gunter with the handoff. Gunter with a 1-yard run, Cadenasso with the tackle. Broncos down by 6. 2nd and 9 from the 31. Single wing formation. Hand off to Clark. He throws to Anahua, complete. Clark passes to Anahua, 13-yard gain, Nicholson on the tackle, first down. First and 10 at the 44. Single wing formation. Bootleg. Clark with a gain of 5 on the play, Cadenasso on the tackle. Santa Clara trailing by 6. 2nd and 5. Single wing formation. Oregon jumped. Possible free play for Clark. The give to Pellegrini. He throws to Gunter, incomplete. Pellegrini throws incomplete to Gunter, penalty flag.
Encroachment, defense. Number 68, 5-yard penalty.
Single wing formation. Barlow pitches left to Anahua. Anahua with a 4-yard run, Yerby with the tackle. Single wing formation. Hand off to Clark. He throws to Barlow. He dropped it. Clark throws incomplete to Barlow, Walden on the coverage. Third and 6 at the 42. Single wing formation. Clark sets up in the pocket. Short hitch to Coughlin, complete. Clark completes the pass to Coughlin, gain of 13, Nicholson on the tackle, first down. Single wing formation. The give to Clark. He throws to Pellegrini. Nice snare. Clark to Pellegrini, gain of 15, Cadenasso on the tackle, first down. Single wing formation. Hand off to Clark. He throws to Pellegrini. Incomplete. Clark to Pellegrini, incomplete, Gebhardt on the coverage. Single wing formation. Current drive, 9 plays, 56 yards. 2:48 off the clock. Barlow with the handoff. Fumble. Barlow the ball carrier, gain of 4, fumble recovered by Pellegrini, Santa Clara maintains possession. Third and 6. Single wing formation. Hand off to Barlow. Barlow on the carry, gain of 2, Yerby on the tackle. 25-yard kick for Johnson. Johnson to hold. The snap from Billick. Johnson missed the 25-yard kick. Single wing formation. Gebhardt from the shotgun. Hankinson gives to Smith. 8-yard run by Smith, Wolf on the tackle. Second and 2. Single wing formation. Gebhardt back to pass. Gebhardt dumps it to Blankenshop, complete. Gebhardt completes the pass to Blankenshop, gain of 10, McCarthy on the tackle, first down. Single wing formation. Hankinson gives to Emmons. Emmons gets to the second level. Emmons with a 50-yard run, Clark on the tackle, first down. Single wing formation. Hankinson running. Gebhardt lost 2 on the play, Locke on the tackle. Single wing formation. Give to Gebhardt. He throws to Stenstrom. Incomplete. Gebhardt throws incomplete to Stenstrom, Barlow with the coverage. Oregon by 6. Third and 12 at the 14. 9:17 in the third. Single wing formation. Give to Gebhardt. He throws to Emmons. Incomplete. Gebhardt to Emmons, incomplete, Clark on the coverage. 31-yard try for Lance. Gammon to hold. The snap from Cadenasso. Lance missed the 31-yard attempt. First and 10. Single wing formation. Shotgun. Bootlet. Clark with a gain of 4 on the play, Nicholson on the tackle. Single wing formation. Clark drops back to pass. He airs it out. Incomplete. Clark throws incomplete to Anahua, Nicholson on the coverage. Third and 6 from the 24. Single wing formation. Clark back to pass. Short cross to Coughlin. He dropped it. Clark throws incomplete to Coughlin, Emmons on the coverage.
Pass interference, defense. Number 38, automatic, first down.
First and 10 from the 35. Single wing formation. High snap. Fumble. Clark on the carry, lock, penalty flag. Second and 14 from the 31. Single wing formation. Clark fades back to pass. Medium crossing pattern. Incomplete. Clark to Coughlin, incomplete, Emmons on the coverage. Third and 14. Single wing formation. Clark at the line. Hand off to Clark. He throws to Anahua. Incomplete. Clark to Anahua, incomplete, Nicholson on the coverage. Johnson will punt. A 45-yard punt by Johnson, return of 6 by Nicholson. Single wing formation. From the shotgun. High snap. Fumble. Gebhardt lost 9 on the play, fumble recovered by Gebhardt, Oregon maintains possession. Penalty on the play.
False start, offense. Number 20, 5-yard penalty, repeat, second down.
Second and 24 from the 16. Single wing formation. Gebhardt fades back to pass. Long curl to Donovan. He dropped it. Gebhardt throws incomplete to Donovan, Roche on the coverage. Flag on the play.
False start, offense. Number 71, 5-yard penalty, repeat, third down.
Third and 29. Single wing formation. Gebhardt drops back to pass. Medium button hook. Incomplete. Gebhardt throws incomplete to Yerby, McCarthy on the coverage. Gammon to punt. From his own end zone. A 38-yard punt by Gammon, return of 6 by Clark. Broncos trailing by 6. First and 10 from the 43. 6-11 in the third. Single wing formation. Clark from the shotgun. Clark calls out the signals. Barlow tucks it under. Clark the ball carrier, gain of 6, Regnato on the tackle. Second and 4 from the 37. Single wing formation. Clark calls the signals. Barlow with the handoff. Barlow on the sweep, 7-yard gain, Robertson on the tackle, first down. Single wing formation. Barlow with the handoff. Barlow with a gain of 2 on the play, Regnato on the tackle. Single wing formation. Barlow pitches left to Gunter. Gunter lost 7 on the play, Jensen on the tackle. Third and 15 from the 35. 4:03 in the third. Single wing formation. Clark at the line. He fades back to pass. Long hitch. Incomplete. Clark to Anahu. Incomplete. Nicholson on the coverage. Johnson from punt formation. "35-yard punt by Johnson, touchback." Single wing formation. Hankinson behind center. Shotgun formation. Hankinson on the draw. Hankinson on the carry, no gain, blocked with the tackle. Single wing formation. Slips it to Hankinson. Lots of daylight. Hankinson on the sweep, gain of 10, Skiekl on the tackle. Third and less than a foot from the 30. Single wing formation. Emmons with the handoff. Room to run. Emmons on the carry, gain of 26, Roche on the tackle, first down. Single wing formation. Gebhardt calls out the signals. Hankinson running. Gebhardt the ball carrier, gain of 9, Anahu on the tackle. Oregon by 6. Second and 1 at the 35. Single wing formation. Hankinson running. With a lane. Gebhardt gains 17 on the sweep, Tom on the tackle, first down. Oregon breaks the huddle. Oregon leads by 6. Single wing formation. Hand off to Gebhardt. Gebhardt checks down to Emmons, incomplete. Gebhardt to Emmons, incomplete. Oregon by 6. Single wing formation. Gebhardt drops back to pass. Medium fly. Incomplete. Gebhardt passes to Donovan, incomplete. Third and 10 from the 18. Single wing formation. Gebhardt to throw. Medium hitch. Gebhardt with the pass to Donovan, flag on the play.
Roughing the passer, defense. Number 13, automatic, first down.
First and goal from the 9. Single wing formation. Hand off to Stenstrom. Stenstrom on the carry, touchdown Oregon. Nicholson will try the point after. Nicholson converts the extra point, Oregon 26, Santa Clara 13. Lance boots it. The kick from Lance is returned 14 yards by Barlow, Ratch on the tackle. Single wing formation. Shotgun. Pellegrini with the handoff. Pellegrini on the sweep, no gain, Robertson on the tackle. Single wing formation. Clark sets up in the pocket. Clark is off and running. Clark with the carry, gain of 1, Jensen on the tackle. Third and 9. Single wing formation. Pellegrini in the slot. Clark is back to pass. Medium cross to Tom. Incomplete. Clark passes to Tom, incomplete, Emmons on the coverage. Johnson back in punt formation. "36-yard punt by Johnson, 8-yard return by Nicholson. First and 10. Single wing formation. Shotgun. The field is getting slick. Gebhardt fades back to pass. False. Has an opening. 13-yard run by Gebhardt, Roche on the tackle, first down. Single wing formation. Hankinson gives to Stenstrom. Stenstrom lost one on the play, Smith on the stop. Second and 11 from the 49. Single wing formation. Santa Clara jumped. Possible free play for Gebhardt. Fades back to pass. Short in. Incomplete. Gebhardt throws incomplete to Yerby, flag on the field.
Encroachment, defense. Number 45, 5-yard penalty.
Second and 6. Single wing formation. Bootleg. 2-yard run by Gebhardt, Smith with the tackle. Oregon by 13. Third and 4 at the 42. Single wing formation. Hankinson running. 1-yard gain by Gebhardt, Coughlin on the tackle. Fourth and 3 at the 41. Single wing formation. Gebhardt calls the signals. Gebhardt fades back to pass. Gebhardt will have to run. Gebhardt with the carry, gain of 10, Anahu with the tackle, first down. Single wing formation. The give to Gebhardt. He throws to Donovan. Incomplete. Gebhardt throws incomplete to Donovan. Single wing formation. Gebhardt at the line. Hankinson with the handoff. Hankinson on the sweep, loss of 4, Coughlin on the tackle. Third and 14 from the 35. Single wing formation. Gebhardt drops back to pass. He fires downfield to Emmons. He dropped it. Gebhardt throws incomplete to Emmons, Clark on the coverage. Gammon back in punt formation. "35-yard punt by Gammon, touchback. First and 10. Single wing formation. Shotgun. Pellegrini fades back to pass. Pellegrini will have to run. Pellegrini on the carry, penalty on the play.
Holding, offense. Number 48, 10-yard penalty.
Single wing formation. Clark in the shotgun. Clark calls out the signals. He fades back to pass. Long hitch to Tom. He dropped it. Clark throws incomplete to Tom, Emmons on the coverage. Single wing formation. Clark drops back to pass. Clark passes to Pellegrini, complete. Clark completes the pass to Pellegrini, 2-yard gain, Gebhardt with the tackle. 3rd and 18. Single wing formation. Clark fades back to pass. Clark tucks it under. Clark on the carry, 3-yard gain, Walden on the tackle. Johnson back in punt formation. "36-yard punt by Johnson, return of 1 by Nicholson. First and 10 from the 50. Single wing formation. Shotgun formation. We've got a downpour now. The field is in lousy shape. Hankinson with the give to Emmons. Emmons the ball carrier, no gain, Coughlin on the tackle. Second and 10 at the 50. Single wing formation. Oregon taking their time. Emmons takes the handoff. Emmons on the carry, gain of 3, Roche with the tackle. Third and 7 at the 47. Single wing formation. Oregon working slowly. Hand off to Gebhardt. It's dumped to Emmons. Incomplete. Gebhardt passes to Emmons, incomplete. Gammon from punt formation. Barlow waiting inside his own 10. "36-yard punt by Gammon, out of bounds.
Offsides, offense. 5-yard penalty.
Gammon to punt. Barlow standing inside his own 10. "25-yard punt by Gammon, out of bounds. Santa Clara breaks the huddle. Single wing formation. Shotgun formation. Slick track out there. Barlow pitches right to Coughlin. Coughlin on the pitch, no gain, Walden on the tackle. Second and 10 from the 27. Single wing formation. Santa Clara hustling to the line. The give to Clark. He throws to Anahua. Deflected by Nicholson at the 40. Clark is intercepted by Gebhardt, return of 3. Single wing formation. Gebhardt in the shotgun. Hankinson running. Gebhardt on the carry, no gain, Clark on the tackle. Second and 10 at the 37. Single wing formation. Gebhardt taking his time. Stenstrom with the handoff. Stenstrom on the carry, 4-yard gain, Tom on the tackle. Third and 6 from the 33. Single wing formation. Oregon in no hurry. Hankinson pitches right to Emmons. Emmons lost 4 on the play, Coughlin on the stop. Gammon will punt it away. "35-yard punt by Gammon, no return.
Offsides, defense. 5-yard penalty.
Oregon by 13. Fourth and 5 from the 32. Single wing formation. Gebhardt fades back to pass. Short cross. Caught by Yerby inside the 15. Gebhardt completes the pass to Yerby, 18-yard gain, McCarthy on the tackle, first down. Oregon by 13. Single wing formation. Gebhardt taking his time. Gebhardt calling the signals. Hankinson hands to Emmons. Emmons lost one on the play, Wolf on the tackle. Second and 11 from the 15. Single wing formation. Slow down offense. Stenstrom takes the handoff. Stenstrom with the carry, no gain, Coughlin on the tackle. Third and 11 from the 15. Single wing formation. Gebhardt slow to the line. Gebhardt at the line. Drops back to pass. Medium cross. Gebhardt to Donovan, incomplete. Fourth and 11 from the 15. Single wing formation. The give to Gebhardt. He throws to Emmons. Incomplete. Gebhardt throws incomplete to Emmons, Clark on the coverage. Single wing formation. Clark in the shotgun. Traction almost gone now. Clark fades back to pass. Clark is running with it. Clark with a 9-yard run, Robertson on the tackle. Single wing formation. Hurry up. Clark calling signals. He fades back to pass. Long out pass to Anahua. Incomplete. Clark throws incomplete to Anahua, Nicholson on the coverage. Third and 1 at the 24. Single wing formation. Clark sets up in the pocket. Falls. 7-yard gain by Clark, Nicholson on the tackle, first down. Santa Clara trailing by 13. Single wing formation. Clark sets up in the pocket. Sacked by Regnato. Clark is sacked by Regnato, loss of 6. Santa Clara trailing by 13. Single wing formation. The give to Clark. He checks down to Pellegrini, he dropped it. Clark to Pellegrini, incomplete, penalty on the play.
Roughing the passer, defense. Number 58, 15-yard penalty. Automatic, first down.
Flag on the field.
False start, offense. Number 20, 5-yard penalty, repeat first down.
Broncos down 13. First and 15 from the 35. 1:37 left in the fourth. Single wing formation. Clark fades back to pass. False. Clark with a 4-yard run, Regnato on the tackle. Santa Clara trailing by 13. Single wing formation. Give to McCarthy. He throws to Pellegrini, incomplete. McCarthy throws incomplete to Pellegrini, Gebhardt on the coverage. Third and 11 from the 39. Single wing formation. Clark fades back to pass. Long out pass to Anahua. He dropped it. Clark with the pass to Anahua, incomplete, Nicholson on the coverage. Fourth and 11. Single wing formation. Clark sets up in the pocket. Long out to Anahua. Incomplete. Clark to Anahua, incomplete, Nicholson on the coverage. Hankinson will go to a knee. Hankinson takes a knee. Hankinson will go to a knee. Oregon 26, Santa Clara 13.